As a man, life wants us at our full power. God wants us at our full power. Our woman wants us at our full power. And as guys, we may have been that in a certain area of life. We've been it on the football field, in the boardroom, at business, in the bedroom. And something could have happened along the way where that was made wrong. Like a wild tiger that went too far on the football field, or was aggressive in the bedroom, or in a consensual way, of course, or something where we get scared of our own power as guys. And we can have judgments, even in the bedroom, things we want to do that the girl wants to do that we're afraid to do, or we know in our younger years we were hurt in our sexuality or connecting with our power or a partner's power. Like it felt too much. It's an interesting thing, and I'll use the metaphor of a tiger, maybe a different animal. Resonates with you, probably not the hummingbird or the almighty wild squirrel. But for us not to be at our full power, it just doesn't work. And we live in a world where, the word toxic, or the label, whatever, toxic masculinity is thrown up around a lot. And there's these different wars on genders. You don't really hear of toxic femininity. You hear the common metaphor online, the only toxic masculinity is the absence of it. That's half true, because you can just be an unhealthy guy, right? Or you can also, what also could be quote unquote toxic or unhealthy, we can be afraid of our own healthy power. I remember back to this ayahuasca ceremony years ago, and it kept showing me that. It kept showing me whoever you're gonna date needs you at your full power. And I had an experience, and we'll get into here, where I was scared of that power. And if you're the kind of guy who grew up with a role model, or your dad was aggressive in this way, it's something you may have learned from and admired, and also been afraid of, like, oh wow, he was aggressive and it hurt my mom's feelings, and then they got divorced. I don't want to be like that guy. I don't want to hurt women. So reconnecting with our power is so essential. And then also, what does that mean? Because if you just had a wild tiger in your living room, things could get a little crazy, right? So how do you direct that raw energy? How do you have boundaries, limits? And it can be even you're staying up all night working and it's burning yourself out. So the tiger's going wild, it's sinking its teeth in, its claws in, but you're not taking care of your body. So you have a wild animal inside of you. You also have a heart and a soul. You have a tiger or a lion or a bear or a shark or whatever it is for you. If that guy's not switched on, you can really, really suffer. Suffer in ways we suffer with sex. Like, I've heard things over the years from guys where they'll judge their own sexuality, and in the moment it almost kind of makes sense some of the time. Like thinking of a guy, he's seeing a girl from 50 feet away and goes, wow, she looks pretty, and then she turns around and it's like, oh, she's 16. And then it's like, and talking to men about this, being in different circles, and the judgment we can have on ourselves, like, oh my God, that could be my daughter. How can I even think that? Now, it's nothing someone did wrong. It's nothing he acted on. It's kind of a biological response. It's totally different if someone acts on dating a 16-year-old. Obviously, that would be way out of line, way out of integrity in a million different ways. But we can get confused about our own power, and managing it is one way to look at it. The thing that really kills it is suppressing it. However, what if you had a tiger that was your friend? And you could tame it to help you. Not to beat up other people, but you could help you in stuff with life. And what if you have that animal inside of you? And it's an interesting dichotomy, because in the alpha community It's very tiger lion, and it's not always connected to heart, emotions, soul, inner work. And in the spiritual community, often more, let's call it beta community, it's more totally disconnected from the animal. It's heart, soul, emotions, caring. And there's sigmas, there's omegas, there's different ways to look at what it is to be a man. And something to think about is what a weird system as a guy where you can only be one of two things. Super limiting. But it's how we grew up, right? And what if there was a way to integrate both? And I'll tell you, guys, if you don't already know, ask female friends, that's what they want. Because no one really wants the beta guy, let's be honest. But he's kind, he's gentle, he's compassionate. Even the beta guy doesn't want to be the beta guy. The alpha guy is a leader. And it also can come with other shadow that all of us as men have different, aspects of shadow, pros and cons, pros and grows said differently. The bigger question is, how do you integrate your animal and your heart? Because if you think about just being an animal and being a guy, you could just be addicted to drugs, porn, Tinder, and meeting another girl, having a ton of fun. It's like, or like eating a bunch of food, but it's left you feeling malnourished, feeling empty. And you could be the other guy on the other side that's heart, emotions, but he's afraid to take charge. He's made his power wrong. He's seen his dad or someone else or his mom's emasculated his dad, and he thinks, power's bad. So the thing that often stops us is shame. This is an interesting emotion because if you take guilt, like if you go out and you drank a lot, or you go, I stopped smoking weed, and 6 months later you go, I was at this party and I smoked, and then I ate a pizza, and then I ate gummy bears, and the next day I need 4 cups of coffee to wake up. You can have this out of integrity feeling, this guilt feeling. In some ways that's healthy, I think, as long as you don't live there. When we've done things out of integrity for a while, we live in that, and that's called shame. The difference is I did this wrong versus I'm wrong. So very, very, very different things. How can you be fully yourself? Because if you're not fully yourself, people are going to see it, man. People are going to see it in business. People are going to see it in your relationship. Women, the amazing radar detectors that they are, they will sense it. They'll feel this, but not this, and go, okay. And as guys too, you hear a lot, well, I want a woman to submit to me or surrender or this or that. And a lot of times as guys, I've done that in the past as well. We haven't shown up. Or we were able to hold a kind of a facade or a mask in a relationship for weeks or months. And then it's like, I haven't conditioned that person. I can act like that when I'm meeting someone, right? I've done this, you've probably done it, maybe you're doing it right now, but it's not sustainable. When you find ways to understand the power of your sexuality, your fire, which can come through just your sexual energy and channeling it. And there's different things that comes through, like going to the gym. Not going to the gym, not doing some type of fighting. If you miss out on those two, it's like you can't access your full body as a guy. And no wonder we have an epidemic of hormone replacement stuff or steroids and different things. I'm not anti-TRT, but I think it's way overused nowadays. And it's probably going to be way, 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 way more overused. But also you have this compass in the center of your chest. You ever had that feeling where you see a girl and she's attractive? This is kind of an evolution for guys. Obviously you've had that feeling. But you see her, and you're the kind of guy that's done inner work, working on yourself for years. And she looks a certain way from behind or from the side. Then you kind of feel her presence, her energy, or see her facial expression. You're like, the energy, the heart doesn't match the curves she had or whatever body type you're into. So as a guy, one of the most powerful things we can do is start listening to our power which our raw power, our sexual energy, our using our physical body and listening to our heart. Because as you even, not that you have to get those things perfect or there's some kind of integration where they do this, in a way, but if those things aren't connected, we live out of balance. And it's $1 million question. How do you do it? You have to find what lights you up, what turns this on. I would say quiet time, whether that's meditation or something else. And where do you feel it's guiding you? Because this is a divine compass, but your body's coming along for the human experience. And so is your sexuality, right? And then connecting with that animal inside of you. And that can come through, maybe it doesn't show up for you in the gym, but you feel totally fucking alive on a motorcycle, just letting it rip. No helmet, wind blowing through your hair. I don't have that problem. Not much hair to blow through. Or you go and you're in the band and you just crank the guitar, that makes you feel. That's almost like a sexual experience. When you're started, even just watching this video now and going, okay, how can I do that? Starting to integrate those things as a guy connects us to our true power. Because it connects us to our divine God, universe, whatever you want to call it, power. It also connects us to our humanity as a sexual being with 2 feet on the ground on planet Earth. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos. Phil, signing out. Ciao, gents.